If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
When I was in my late teens/early 20s, I was very attracted to shy guys. If I was at a party, and there was a quiet guy sitting off to the side, not talking to people, that was who I wanted to talk to. I found their quiet shyness a turn on. It was a challenge, like solving a puzzle. However, it rarely ended well for me. Half the time, they just seemed annoyed that I was talking to them. Sometimes they were quite rude in dismissing me. Other times, when they actually were happy that a nice girl had approached them, they were still really awkward. Some of them would just mumble at me and not make eye contact. Some of them had a lot of trouble making conversation. I would try to talk to them, and maybe they would answer my questions, usually with 1 or 2 words, but no back and forth really happened. Occasionally, they would be so excited that a girl had gone over to talk to them when no other girls had, that they would try to follow me around for the rest of the night. A lot of them seemed to have a desperation mentality when it came to women. Even though our conversation had gone terribly, and we clearly didn't have anything in common, they still felt that they had to make it work with me, no matter how awkward it was for both of us. Eventually, I figured out some bad trends in the guys I was attracting. We were rarely compatible. In fact, I was frequently very incompatible with the guys who were trying to get into a relationship with me. However, they just liked my so much that I would try to make it work. They were frequently antisocial, which was difficult since I was such a social person and I wanted to hang out with lots of people. They weren't very polite to my friends and family. They would rarely speak to friends, and when I introduced them to my family, they would usually say something awkward and hugely embarrassing. One guy I dated refused to shake my father's hand. My dad tried to introduce himself, and my boyfriend just glared at him. I had to apologize to my dad. They had very little to no relationship experience. I had dated lots of people. I knew how this worked. I knew how to resolve conflicts. I knew how to talk calmly to your partner when you were having an argument. I knew how to explain my feelings so that my partner could understand where I was coming from. They never had these skills. I found that I kept having to teach these skills over and over again. It was exhausting, and it wasn't working for me at all. Eventually, I figured out what I was doing wrong. It was my fault. I was specifically looking for guys that were quiet and didn't talk. At parties, shy guys can be really sweet. They can be wonderful people, just like talkative guys can be wonderful or not. However, if you're a talkative, social girl who likes hanging out with lots of people, inviting friends over to your house all the time, and going out on adventures, then it's probably not going to work out. Guys who don't like hanging out with strangers, and who feel awkward in new environments, should probably date girls who also feel this way. However, girls who feel this way are very unlikely to approach a guy she doesn't know. Why should they? Let's say you're a woman. There are 2 men in front of you. One of them is interesting and engaging and talks to you. One of them sits in the corner, not interacting with you at all. Why should you go pry that dude out of the corner? Sure, he might be worth the effort, but statistically he probably isn't. You know absolutely nothing about him. You don't even know if he wants to be approached. What would make you approach him, given that you know nothing about him? The real question, it seems to me, is why are you asking someone else to do something you're too scared to do yourself? That doesn't really seem reasonable, does it? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, and you've been there. If you're shy, you don't like to go to social events. If you avoid social events, you gain less experience talking to people. If you're inexperienced talking to people, you're less approachable. If you're less approachable, women, and men for that matter, won't approach you, which means you won't be invited to social events, making you even less approachable, and so on. Your shyness is the reason she's not approaching you. It's not her fault. Shy people are less approachable by definition. If there are other less shy people around, they will be more approachable. The good news is that it's possible to fix this. Identify things you like to do, and find social groups that align with your interests. Habitat for Humanity, book clubs, Bible studies, Magic the Gathering tournaments. Whatever gets you talking to people and out of your crippling shy comfort zone. You may not find somebody to date in these groups, but you'll be gaining social experience and becoming less shy. Once you feel more comfortable in social settings, try making an online dating profile and going on dates. Afraid you'll embarrass yourself? Good. Keep going on dates with women until you realize that they're as human as you are, some even more worried about the date than you, and eventually the idea of flubbing words in front of a person with different genitals won't be so horrifying. Eventually, you'll find someone you're compatible with, because you're better able to express what your interests are. Start now. The sooner you work on this, the better. Good luck. Why won't women approach shy guys? I'm a woman and Eve have been known to approach shy guys. The thing is, I don't do that in a setting where dating is the first thing on anyone's mind. I do it in a geek setting where I know that everyone around has something in common, and striking up a conversation simply means just that, a conversation. It's a way to make everyone feel included, and after having introduced these guys to others, they have soon joined some greater party, being lost in whatever subject. All my partners to this day have also been pretty shy, and I doubt that they would have approached anyone they were attracted to in a club. But we weren't in a club. My first I met at a forum meet for fantasy fans, my second via friends we had in common, and my third on a language forum online. The one thing in common between these three was that it all started out as an innocent conversation and then it developed into something more over time. Neither of us started out with the notion this could hopefully be my future romantic partner, just this person seems interesting, I want to talk to them. Are you shy in general? Or is it 10 times worse when dealing with women who aren't related to you? If it's the latter, simply become friends with a few of us, women in general, not me personally, even if only online. You'll soon find out that we're all humans and that women have most of the same insecurities that men have. Not all women are the same. Some women do in fact approach shy guys, though admittedly it's probably pretty rare. Social custom in most current societies place the expectation to make an approach on men. Unfortunately, because of historically institutionalized patriarchy, approaching someone in a classic bar/club setting is probably a bad bet for all but the most outgoing people, though. Pick an environment where you're more comfortable. In gaming parlance, get the high ground. Why should they go out of their way to approach a shy guy they know nothing about? Unless that shy guy has shown himself to be very interesting or exceptional in some way. Shy might mean they lack confidence, which could mean they lack something to be confident in. As I say in my online dating profiles, I'm not here to buff your lackluster ego. I'm accomplished and confident. I want my partners to feel like they are equal to me. Approach a woman with the intent to genuinely get to know her, not with the intent to bang her, although, if all you really want is the latter, be honest and open about that please, and don't waste her time. Be open to the possibility that, once you get to know each other, you won't be compatible, and if so, depart amicably. And as always, approach women only in places where she has no reason to fear you, e.g., not in elevators, non-public places, isolated places, i.e., where she might feel cornered/threatened. Respect her space. Wrong to a significant extent. Right only in some cases. If a woman falls in love with you or is highly interested in exploring things, she will want to talk to you soon. It's that simple. If the girl is highly interested in you, she may approach you. She may sit near you since she is tired of waiting and wants to move forward. Some or few girls may insist you approach them even if they initiated interest. However, my assessment is only the talkative ones, too much in love with the idea of talking itself, insist on this. This is from my experience in India and it's different from the dating culture in the West. If you are highly interested in her, it depends on her interest in turn. She most likely will insist you initiate the approach. The key is how much interest/passion you trigger in the first place. Shyness does not prevent one at all from getting interest since various rational factors and elements of irrationality come into play. Difficult to discern logic when someone falls in love. I don't understand why talking gets so much attention. People have different priorities and needs. Different factors are important to different people. Not rocket science, you know.